presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are so.
The Braves' 7-game road trip played out like a Clint Eastwood movie. There was the good. Greg Kimbrell has passed John Smoltz. The bad. And Laird's down. And the ugly. And Carpenter drills him.
And now Walt Weiss is angry.
Evan Gattis got hit. Who will be unforgiven tonight? It's Friday the 13th at the ballpark. It's the Braves and the Angels. What a great way to kick off Father's Day weekend in Atlanta. Big crowd gathering at Turner Field as the Braves are back home for an interleague matchup tonight with the Angels. As always, Braves baseball is brought to you by our friends at Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day. The Braves in second place in the National League East. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim in second place in the AL West. Should be a fun showdown, and the fun starts tonight here at Turner Field. Hi again, friends. Joe Simpson, Chip Caray. Great to be back with you here at the ballpark. We welcome the Angels to town, and hopefully the Braves can pick up their first interleague win this year.
Yeah, these two teams are pretty much on the opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to interleague play this year. The Braves are 0-6. The Angels 6-2. The Angels averaging almost 6 runs a game, while the Braves are below the 3 mark, and only 4 homers for the Braves. You see the pitching is a little lopsided on that too. And these two teams have met 9 times before, and the Angels have won 5 of them.
But the great thing about interleague play is you get to see the stars from the other league, and there's no brighter young star in the American League than Mike Trout.
Mike Trout will be fun for the Atlanta fans to get to see play firsthand. Second in the MLB voting the last 2 years. He's a great all-around player. Anxious to see him on the field.
But he's not the lone star for Mike Scioscia's Halos, a club that's hopeful of getting back in the playoffs. It's been a while for him out west.
Yeah, and they've played well. As you see there, their last 8 games, they've gone 6-2, including a series win over their arch rivals now, the Oakland A's. The Angels are 3rd in the American League in runs scored. They've got a good offensive lineup.
And hopefully Aaron Harang will be able to tame them in Game 1 of the weekend set. Happy Father's Day weekend, everybody. Let's hope the Braves and Angels have a whole lot of fun here at Turner Field. We're back with starting lineups and our first pitch right after this. Angels in interleague play. Mike Scioscia's club comes to town playing good ball, as Joe said. Their Toyota starting nine features a terrific trio. Trout, Pujols, and Hamilton hitting second, third, and fourth. And Aaron Harang, Joe, needs some better luck against the Halos. They've hit him pretty hard.
Indeed. His last win was May 11th against the Cubs. And against the Angels last year, he made 4 starts, winless in all 4, with a horrible ERA. And his career numbers also winless, a 7.59. He owes these guys a little payback tonight.
And Cole Calhoun is the man leading off for Los Angeles. And a quick strike.
4 keys for pitching success tonight. For Aaron Harang, this is a tough lineup, as he has experienced in the past. And 10 walks in his last 12 2/3. That's un-Aaron Harang-like. He's got to tone those down tonight.
And he's off to a good start. 2 quick strikes to the product of Arizona State and Buckeye High School in Buckeye, Arizona. 5'10", 200 pound. Cole Calhoun, an 8th round pick in 2010.
He was described to me as a baseball player. That encompasses a lot, but is a very strong compliment.
I was going to say, either that or someone really had their sports mixed up tonight.
Yes.
but that is a compliment from a former major league player, is it not?
Yeah, this guy may not do a lot of things exceptionally well. He just does everything pretty well.
LA's happy to have him back in the lineup. He missed 31 games with a bum ankle. As you see, Mike Scioscia, longest tenured manager in the big leagues with the Angels. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a pop-up. Gaddis will give chase, but Evan will not have a play. And a nice catch by a fan behind the Angels on deck circle. Braves fans, the best fielding fans in Major League Baseball, as you know.
That away. Didn't bring that glove for nothing.
Calhoun will see a 7th pitch. 6-game homestand for the Braves, 3 with the Angels, 3 with the Phillies. And we're back out on the road for our first real extended road trip of the season. The Braves only have 9 home games in the month of June. So really have to make some hay against the Halos. And a little flare over third, headed for the line, and a fair ball. Cole Calhoun with a terrific at bat. Freeman with a good backup keeps him at first after the relay throw in, escapes second base. Fine play by Freeman to save the Braves a base.
And good hustle by Justin Upton, who's already nursing a sore hamstring, to get over there and keep this from being a bloop double. And when it hit kind of on the edge of the grass and right there on the warning track, kind of squirted away from him. But he got over there quickly enough to discourage Calhoun from going to second.
So here's our first look live at Mike Trout. You've seen him on the highlight shows. Well, here he is in Atlanta, hitting second with a .293 average. And Harang, that down and away strike, gets ahead of the Vineland, New Jersey native Mike Trout.
6'2", 230. Runs well, hits with power. Excellent defender. If he has one shortcoming, and it's really not that bad, is that his throwing arm is not one that you rave about.
A first-round pick by the Angels in 2009. That was a compensation pick. The Angels got a first-round pick from the Yankees after they signed Mark Teixeira. New York's loss, certainly the Angels' gain. 1 ball, 1 strike. And on a play foul. And Trout behind 1-2. Trout won the Rookie of the Year in 2012. joined Ty Cobb, Jimmy Fox, Mel Ott, and Ted Williams as the players to hit .320 in his age 20 and age 21 seasons. Stuffy McInnes also did that, 1911 and 1912.
What could he play?
Stuffy was tough out, wasn't he?
Yep, he should be at the top of that list.
But a .342 minor league hitter and a .314 big league hitter.
I was just going to say, you wonder how some guys get to the big leagues. There's no wondering about this guy.
And look at Trout, not anticipating the play. Carried the bat down the line. Ball took a quick left turn, and Freeman was there to grab it before it bounced or rolled fair again.
Scouting report on Trout too is that he runs hard on everything. There's never a play that he takes off. Most guys wouldn't have even gotten out of the box on that.
Two balls, two strikes. And driven out of play, foul. We'll do it again.
Aaron Harang's last start, he certainly pitched well enough to win against Arizona. 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, but he walked 6. And he really had to work hard. Remember, he pitched real well through the first 5 innings, and then it was like it all kind of caught up to him because he had to pitch in and out of trouble several times, which led to a big pitch count. And he admitted after the game, he said, I think it just kind of wore me down before he gave up some damage in the 6th. So hopefully tonight, I mean, he's already having to work hard on these first 2 guys. Let's hope it gets a little easier.
Still nobody out for Trout. Calhoun at first, and Mike drives one toward right. Jason Hayward near the line, drifting back to the fence, is going to have room and foul ground to take care of Mike Trout. That gives you an idea how strong Trout is. I don't know where he caught that on the bat, but he chased Hayward all the way to the fence in the right field corner.
It looked like he was a little late on it. He didn't get it all.
So while we get our first look at Mike Trout in Atlanta, here's an old familiar face. Remember Albert Pujols, who starred for so many years with the St. Louis Cardinals? Pujols trying to rediscover the offensive magic with the Angels. Albert got over the 500 home run mark earlier this year, but hitting just .249. And Harang pumps over a strike.
Got off to a good start, but has not been able to sustain it.
Pujols is at .285 and .258 in back-to-back seasons with the Angels. Last year managed only 99 games. And suffered a very painful injury, a torn plantar fascia. And here's the majestic home run for Pujols. He got number 499 and 500 in that same game against the Nationals. 1 ball, 1 strike. And fouled straight back at 1-2.
Had a good series against Oakland. He went 4 for 12 before coming to Atlanta. And he's got Josh Hamilton back to hit behind him. That ought to help considerably.
Put you on the spot. Best right-handed hitter of the generation. Albert Pujols, Manny Ramirez.
I've always been very partial to Pujols in that regard. There's not a lot of difference between them.
1-2 pitch is off the plate, even count.
But Albert always hit for a higher average, and I gave him the nod.
Lifetime .321 hitter.
He has not been the same guy in Anaheim as he was in St. Louis.
Bouncing ball off Harang's glove. Simmons will step on the back, pirouette. Freeman couldn't hang on at first. Nearly a miraculous double play.
I didn't expect that one. And maybe Freddie didn't either. Off the pitcher's glove. Then to Andrelton. Then a 360 spin. And would have had him if he'd have been able to get it there in the air or got a little help from Freddie. We did get some help from Alfredo Griffin. Hit him right in the shins. Yeah. He wasn't expecting it either.
No doubt about that. What a remarkable play by Simmons to get Calhoun. So Josh Hamilton's the hitter, and he hacks away at the first pitch and slices it foul to the left. You mentioned Hamilton's back. He missed 48 games with a torn ligament in his thumb. And down a quick strike. A roller foul. It's 0-2.
And he's swinging the bat real well since he came back. 12 for 37 since he came back. And he's put on some weight too. And they said that was a good thing, because it's kind of interesting that when he was playing in Texas, he tried to stay a little heavier because of all the heat.
That ball jammed him. But B.J. Upton's going to grab it in center, and Aaron Harang had to work hard through 22 pitches, gave up a hit, but nothing to the Angels in the top of the scoreless first. Well, I hope everybody has a wonderful Father's Day weekend. If you're fortunate enough to have your pops around, I hope you have a chance to call them, wish them well, and maybe join us at the ball game this weekend. Saturday and Sunday night ball games, Braves and the Angels. Here's the Braves starting nine tonight, presented by skipper Freddie Gonzalez and Toyota. Evan Gattis, his hitting streak is still alive. He was hit by a pitch in Colorado yesterday. That does not end your streak. He'll try to continue it against a tough left-hander, C.J. Wilson, the former Texas Ranger.
He is 33 years old, 6'1", 210 from Fountain Valley, California. How about these interleague numbers? 6-0 with a 3.33 ERA. Only Justin Verlander has a longer streak. Verlander's won 11 straight interleague contests. His 4 keys to pitching success, well, he is an interleague terror. He'll try to keep that going tonight. And 8 to 10 pitches. That doesn't mean per batter. That doesn't mean that's all he's going to throw tonight. That means he thinks he's got about 8 or 10 different pitches in his arsenal, and he may try to use all of them tonight.
And his first of the night is a strike to Jason Hayward. You have called games with a pitcher who's had 8 or 10 pitches, and that didn't work out well for the opposition in the playoffs.
No, it did not.
Ow! Hayward hit on the right hand. Hayward hit by a pitch to start the ball game on an up and in toss from C.J. Wilson.
That sounded solid. Yeah, right on the back of the hand. That's always scary. Able to move his hand, though. That's a good sign. Make a fist.
Wilson's hit 5 guys this year. He was not afraid to pitch inside last season either. He hit 8 men in 33 starts for the Angels in 2013.
He's got that wrap on there, but that's because of the blisters that guys get on the heel of their hand from so much batting practice. Here's a great look at it from our Exmo camera out in center field.
So a painful start to the day for Hayward, but he's aboard to lead off the Braves first, and B.J. Upton is the hitter. He shows bunt and fouls it straight back. It's 0-1.
C.J. Wilson has a fastball that 2-seamer or 4-seamer can go from 88 to 93, so he can bust it up there pretty quick if he wants to, but he throws a cutter off of that. He's got a good changeup that is his second best pitch and his best off-speed pitch, but also a curveball and a slider.
Hayward's running, got a good jump, and up in lines one foul over third. That would have been fun to watch Hayward run the bases.
Yeah, but Jason couldn't find the baseball. He was on a straight steal, so he didn't take a peek over his shoulder. Had his head down, and the middle infielders for the Angels were trying to deke him into thinking he needed to go back in case that ball was fair.
Upton now behind 0-2.
Now, the guy you were referring to was Roy Halladay, who threw that no-hitter in the postseason, and Johnny Gomes said he had 8 pitches, 4 to the outside corner, 4 to the inside. And that's more or less what the thought is with C.J. Wilson, at least in his mind.
And as hitters, don't you want to try to eliminate a pitch in the course of an at-bat, if not the course of a game?
You'd like to.
Some kind of advantage?
Yeah, you'd like to. And this guy, 8th in the league in strikeouts. And he's also 6th in the league with the lowest batting average against. But that's consistent with their whole staff. Opponents' batting average against their staff as a whole is just .231, and that's second best in the American League.
Their staff ERA at this point almost a run better this year than it was last year. And Wilson up to his old tricks after a 17-win season last year, as you said. He's 7-5 this year. And that's start number 14 tonight. Here's Freddie Freeman, runner at first with 1 out. Something a little odd about this Braves ball club this year from an offensive standpoint, Joe, is the good work that the Braves left-handed hitters have done against left-handed pitching. Somewhat surprising in that Wilson tough against lefties. You've got Freeman who hits him well. Justin Upton, Gaddis, the right-hand bats also hit them well. That's been a hallmark of this Braves club. They don't mind seeing left-handers, hard tossers, soft tossers.
They don't. And going into that start against Tyler Matzik, a guy who they had not seen in Colorado, had a 6-4 record against left-handed starters, but he pitched an outstanding game and didn't give up any runs until the 8th inning.
You know, this is a big series for Freddie Freeman, an Orange County kid. Loved watching J.T. Snow play first base. That was his idol as a kid. So he's going to try and put on a show for the home folks tonight. 2 balls and a strike.
Mike Calhoun from Fountain Valley, California. Or excuse me, Mike Wilson, I meant to say.
Wilson's pitching Freeman very carefully here. 3 balls and a strike. Justin Upton waits on deck. You know, Upton can't wait to add his terrific home numbers. Good lead at first for Hayward. And Freeman takes a walk. 2 on, 1 out.
Braves are hitting 35 points as a team higher against left-handers than they are against right-handers. And Wilson's coming off a good start against the White Sox last Sunday. Pitched into the 8th inning, only gave up 1 run. That bottom line there, 107 pitches. That's something very interesting about him. He's second in Major League Baseball in most pitches per start, averaging 111, almost 112 pitches per start.
That's the average?
That's his average.
More on that after the pitch to Justin is low. That means there are a lot of games where he's well over that total,
That's
which is
correct.
almost never seen in Major League team.
And a huge percentage of his career starts, like 80% of his career starts, have been over 100 pitches.
1 ball, no strikes. 2 ways to look at that. Either he's throwing a lot of pitches to each hitter, or he's staying in the game long enough to throw 100 pitches. And I'm guessing it's more of the latter than the former.
Yeah, when you're got a career record of 80 and 57, good chance of the latter.
Great chance for the Braves to strike here in the first for Justin Upton. 2 on, 1 out. And this is where Upton loves to do damage. This season in 31 home games, Justin Upton's hitting .380 with 10 of his 14 homers and 26 of his 36 runs batted in. Fly ball well hit toward left. Hamilton going back on the warning track. Will have just enough room. Upton flies to deep left, and there's the second out for Evan Gattis.
Just a little bit off the end of the bat is what it looked like and sounded like. Breaking ball, and just a little quick on it and a little bit on the end. It's the only thing that saved Wilson.
So Evan Gattis, a 12-game hitting streak, 18 hits in that stretch with 5 homers. And Evan is our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard tonight.
He's hitting them at a faster clip than anybody since 2013. If you're hitting him faster than Giancarlo Stanton per at bat, then I'm with you.
Evan took a fastball from Nick Massett right on the left biceps yesterday, and that thing raised an ugly welt on his left arm. It was after the mess in the bottom of the 8th inning with David Carpenter.
I thought the whole thing was nonsense.
Yeah.
I thought it was all uncalled for, both sides.
Good hitters count for Gattis. Chris Johnson on deck. 2 balls, no strikes. And Wilson missed down and in. 3-0. Green light here.
Cut him loose. He gets one of those belt-high fastballs or letter-high fastballs. You like your chances.
Hayward hit by a pitch. Freeman walked. They're aboard with 2 outs. And the 3-0 pitch. Swing drive deep left field. Hamilton's not getting that one.
Justin Upton barely missed. Belt-high fastball to Evan Gattis. He rarely misses that. Great contact out front. That was more of a line drive than a fly ball.
If he's not in the home run derby, there's no reason to watch it, folks. Evan Gattis hits his 14th home run. That gives him a 13-game hitting streak with 6 homers in the stretch. And Aaron Harang has been staked to a 3-0 lead in the first.
Boy, is that a nice sign. I mean, I know the Braves got 7 in that game Tuesday night in the first inning and won by 3. That doesn't happen too often, maybe once a season. So getting 3 here in the first against a good offensive ball club, a real good sign for Aaron Harang.
3 runs on 1 Atlanta hit. And now 2-2 to Chris Johnson, who had a marvelous series against Colorado. Chris with 10 hits in his last 29 at bats. And he looks low. Braves are making C.J. Wilson work on a hot, muggy night. That was his 24th pitch of the inning. Another fly ball foul to the right side. So the Braves have scored first. The Braves have hit a homer. Those things happen. Atlanta's usually in very good shape tonight. Chris has a big gap in left center field if he can pull a pitch. And he hits one toward left center field. It's deep. Trout back. That ball's gone. In the first inning.
Just because you are trying to inside out the ball doesn't mean you're not going to generate any power. It's that you've got your hands inside the baseball, like this swing, where your hips help you generate some bat speed and launch. Boy, was that a pretty swing. He's hotter than a dancing bobcat too.
Atta baby. Back-to-back homers for the Braves in the first inning. And a strike for Tommy La Stella. Tommy's riding a 3-game hit streak. Already 7 multi-hit games for him in his very young big league career.
That's very impressive. Played well. He's made 1 error, and that was the first game in Boston.
That's just because he still had butter on his fingers from his first lobster.
Probably.
Faneuil Hall.
Standing lob.
Yes.
As we all know.
Back through the middle. Kick save and a beauty, and Conjure can't come up with it.
That was funny.
C.J. Wilson trying to channel his inner Jonathan Quick of the L.A. Kings.
This came all the way back to the catcher. Tried to step on it like a cockroach. Nice skate save. Popped it in the air, but Condon couldn't get to it.
That might be the first time we've seen a true foot wedge in Major League Baseball. Is the truth. That's Mike Butcher. He's the 5 pitching coach for the Angels, as C.J. Wilson has been ambushed here in the first inning. 3 consecutive hits after 2 are out. Upton chased Hamilton to the wall. Gaddis hit a 3-run homer. Chris Johnson a solo shot, and now La Stella on a ball back through the middle. Bounces one off Wilson's foot.
Well, he picked that right off the dirt too. La Stella did.
.32 first inning pitches. And now Andrelton Simmons is the batter. And a little low, 1 ball, no strikes. In the air toward right, and a fine running catch is made by Calhoun. Atlanta gets 4 in the first inning. Back-to-back homers by Gaddis and Chris Johnson. Aaron Harang leads by 4 after 1 in Game 1 with the Angels.
Nothing team lead for the home team back at Turner Field. Hey everybody, I'm Tom Harden. Great to be back at home after a long and windy road trip that ended yesterday in Colorado in a scary moment. Brought the road trip to an end for Gerald Laird. 8th inning, and he got 2 shots to the head. One was a foul tip straight back off the bat of Corey Dickerson, and then 2 pitches later, the swing from Dickerson caught Laird in the side of the head, knocked his mask off, and caught him in the jaw. He got looked at fully by the training staff yesterday, met with the training staff and doctors today. They've announced that he is day-to-day. Laird told me that first foul tip staggered him a little bit, but the shot to the jaw, well, that had him seeing stars. And it's always a scary moment and no laughing matter in the game these days when it comes to concussions. All the precautions taken by the medical staff. He is available, but will likely get a couple of days of rest.
Great report, Tom. Thank you very much. That was scary.
Yeah, it was. It really was. Worried that the mask really didn't slow that bat down as much as his jaw did.
As Howie Kendrick leads off the second for the Halos. 3 homers, 25 knocked in, and a .276 average for the Angels second baseman. And I agree 100% with what Tom said. Baseball has done a remarkable job the last 4 or 5 years of being much more progressive, if you will, in trying to not only prevent concussions, but also treat them, recognize them, and instead of a full-blown 15-day DL, a modified disabled list for the concussion-like symptoms of 7 days.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So Orang staked with a 4-run advantage, like an easy inning. He's got a 3-1 count with Kendrick, and he lost it. Leadoff man on for the second time for the Angels. Kendrick walks. He's got 9 steals this year.
This Angels team offensively, number 6 in average in the American League, 3rd in runs scored. They're 1st in triples, 6th in homers, 3rd in slugging. So you don't want to give them any more opportunities than what they actually earn themselves. And that was one of the keys for Aaron tonight. 10 walks in his last 12 2/3 innings. Coming in,
Eric Ibar's the batter. He's knocked in 35 runs out of the shortstop position. That's the second highest total for any American League shortstop. The only man with more is Alexi Ramirez of the White Sox. Big hole right side. Kendrick a good lead. Ibar takes low.
You can understand if Aaron is a little careful with these guys because of his lack of success against them, including 4 starts last year. But with a 4-run lead early, he's got a chance to be a little more aggressive.
As you know, in interleague play in the National League ballpark, the Angels are without a designated hitter tonight, so they're a batter short. But that may suit Mike Scioscia's club just fine. It's been said of them that with their style of play on the base paths especially, they remind a lot of people of a National League team.
He's kind of managed that way his whole career. Everybody's always talked about the Angels being more of a National League team under his guidance as the manager because that's where he played. And in the past always liked and encouraged his players to go 1st to 3rd on base hits. Employed a little more of a running game, but not so much this year.
1-2 pitch is bounced foul at first. And we'll do it again. A ball and 2 strikes. Popped up, defensive swing, left side of the infield. Who wants it? It'll be Chris Johnson with the play. 1 out.
That was kind of an emergency swing here, down and in, a breaking ball. Might have hit him in the back foot.
So Ibar was fooled, and that'll bring up David Freese, former star with the St. Louis Cardinals. Back-to-back slow Aprils for Freese, who's warming up as we speak. He's hitting .222 for the year, and he's a little late. Strike 1.
That was one of the scouting reports on him, was that he was having a little trouble catching up to fastballs, which surprised me.
Freese, a local kid from suburban West County in St. Louis, got to the St. Louis Cardinals and took them to the World Series. Hit .348 in the 2011 Fall Classic with 7 RBIs.
Pretty much won it for him by saving them with that triple in Game 6.
0-2 pitch. Just missed the corner. Peter Borges and Randall Grichuk went to St. Louis for David Freese right around Thanksgiving last year.
Our PNC Bank Fox tracks. Steve Reich. Ooh, what a stop. Good play by Evan.
I think it'll be interesting to read the comments of Mike Scioscia after this series and what his thoughts are on Evan Gattis. He doesn't like his offense at all tonight after the 3-run homer. As another nice catch in the club level is made by a Braves fan.
Well, I know what the fans have been doing since we were gone. They've been working on their D. Nicely done in the front row.
That fan from Villa Rica, Georgia, made the play.
Really?
Got the old charts.
Huh.
Another close call. Harang didn't get that one. Full count.
David Rackley is the home plate umpire. After these 2 pitches to Freese, he may need to re-rack.
Double play ball. Simmons flips to LaStella. And Harang gets the double play. Leadoff walk bears no fruit for the Angels. Shutdown inning for Harang. Bottom of the 2nd inning, 4-0. Atlanta has jumped all over Anaheim in Game 1 of the weekend series.
Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by AT UVerse, Delta Airlines, and Ford.
Hey, they're chopping away on Father's Day weekend here in Atlanta. Great start for the Braves. Back-to-back homers in the first by Evan Gattis and Chris Johnson. And we head to the bottom of the inning with Harang, Hayward, and BJ coming up against left-hander C.J. Wilson. In today's game, we're participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every homer hit tonight raises $6,500 for prostate cancer research. And you can make a pledge by going online to homerunchallenge.org. Already $13,000 donated. With 2 homers, Atlanta hit in the opening inning.
Well, that's a good start for the night.
Yeah, right. Aaron Harang goes to work. He's 1 for 23 at the plate this year. What's first inning like this one mean for the Braves, Joe, after their struggles in Colorado in 3 of the 4 games?
It's like, boy, we've come home and feel refreshed and invigorated to be home, and pound away like that in the first inning off a tough pitcher who's been pitching well makes everybody feel a little better.
Braves looking for their first win against the American League this year. The Angels have won 6 of their first 8 interleague affairs. And that's not altogether a good sign, as Harang strikes out. Nothing against Jordan Schaefer, but you recall Jason Hayward was hit by a pitch in the first inning, and it was his right hand. He stayed in the game and scored ahead of the Gaddis home run, but he'll be taken out of the ball game here in the home second.
Fastball 2 right up and in and off the back of his hand. And when you've got your bottom hand on the bat, you've got a pretty good grip on it. There's no give there. Your hand absorbs all that energy from the pitch. That's not a good sign, with all due respect to Jordan.
So, Tom, that's exactly what the Braves don't want to see, especially as well as Jason's been getting on base and swinging the bat.
I'm honestly surprised that it lasted that half inning, but he had a discussion in the corner of the dugout with Freddie Gonzalez and the Braves athletic training staff before he went back out to play that defensive half inning. And whether he talked his way to stay in the game or Freddie Gonzalez said, just be honest with me and let me know if it hurts you, whatever it was, they came to a different conclusion after a half inning in the field.
You know, something else, Tom, is that it's his right hand and he throws left-handed, so it doesn't affect his throwing. But the impact of catching a fly ball or just having to squeeze the glove closed, that hurts or could hurt.
And that might have been discovered just playing catch in the outfield before the half inning began. But I did notice on a much smaller scale that after the home runs, especially after the Evan Gattis home run, he didn't even bother giving a high five with his right hand.
I noticed that too.
So we will obviously await news from the Braves locker room, where I'm sure Hayward's getting examined and will in all likelihood have an X-ray. B.J. Upton, the batter, after Schaefer strikes out looking. Upton struck out swinging in his first at-bat tonight. And Conger framed that pitch nicely. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the air to right. Calhoun's going to gather that one in shallow right field, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down. Special treat for you when we come back to the 3rd inning. Can you believe it? Add another award and trophy to the mantle of Chipper Jones. We'll explain when we come back.
And it's like I hit it, and when I knew it was gone when I hit it, and I'm jogging down to first, and all I can think about when I'm rounding first is My mom is bawling her eyes out right now.
Now, was she bawling her eyes out?
Yes, she was. Yeah, yeah, she told me that she was glad it was just her and Dad. But yeah, she got pretty emotional over that one. I think we all did. It's a lot of homers.
Yes, it is. Not bad. Not bad for you.
And you had a great call on that home run, by the way.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was fun. Well, how have you been?
Pretty good. Just playing some golf, and got the boys upstairs. We're sitting right over top of you guys. I was thinking about getting a really long straw and spitballing you guys.
Oh, nice. And Conger drives one deep center, and that one's off the fence. And the Angels catcher is going to double to start at the top of the third inning. There's nothing like this weekend, is there? Forget the baseball part of it. There's nothing like being a dad on Father's Day.
It's awfully special. That's one of the reasons I brought the kids down here, you know, tonight. A little too hot to bring them down for day games and whatnot. But, yeah, Father's Day weekend is special for all baseball players. I mean, 99% of the guys that are playing the game have a special relationship with their dad that, you know, is, you know, in some way, shape, or form, baseball is in there somehow. So it's, you know, it's just a great weekend, a great matchup with a good team from the other coast. So it'll be fun to watch some Braves baseball this weekend.
Well, I know that Driven, that show was special to you, and pretty cool that there was an Emmy Award attached to it also. So I don't know if you know this, but on behalf of the Academy for Best Actor in a 20-year drama series.
20-year, yeah.
20-year drama series.
That's a long time to be on TV.
I'd like you to receive this wonderful Emmy Award.
Very nice.
Was there anything you'd like to say?
Well, yes, there is. Thank you, Fox. They did an outstanding job. Chris Domino with some of the interviews. One of our good friends in the media here. But this is awfully special to me for one reason. See, Brian McCann got one a couple years ago, and he flaunted it all over the clubhouse. So now I can say, ha. They must hand these things out all the time, don't they?
You guys can't stop competing. Come on.
It's terrible. It's part of what makes us go, though. Is our competitive nature.
Well, it is a great show. It is a great story, and we are really appreciative of the guys and gals at Fox too for all their hard work and helping you win an Emmy despite the subject matter.
Well, anytime there's a show where people can actually see me play football, I think that's pretty cool. You know, I mean, I haven't seen those highlights in a long time.
Yeah. Now, was that hard to do? I mean, reality TV is all the rage now. Baseball is obviously a reality show, so maybe this helped you transition to that. But having the cameras follow you and do all that kind of stuff and ask those kinds of questions in depth like that, was that a difficult thing for you to do at that point in your life and career?
I'm one of those guys that kind of says what I feel anyway. So it's you know, it wasn't that big a deal. And to think that they were following me all around, they weren't really following me all around. It was just kind of a chronological thing that, you know, that they put together. Now, some of the interviews, like you said, were pretty in depth, and personal, and some things that, you know, quite frankly, I'd like to put behind me. But, you know, it is what it is, and you know, people don't understand what was going through my head, going on in my life during certain specific periods of my life. And, you know, if that gives them some insight, then so be it.
I'm just impressed because you haven't been out of the game that long, and you said chronologically without stumbling. That was pretty good.
I did score like 820 on my SATs.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. It's like my dad's like, what? It's like a 10-10. Well, I'm going to stick with 10-10. That's a good number.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so.
This is Cole Calhoun. He singled to start the game against Aaron Harang, who's got a 4-0 lead. Braves hit back-to-back homers. As that one got through Evan Gattis, and the runner with Conger will move up to third base.
Have you ever seen Mike Trout play in person?
Just in the All-Star game in 2012, whatever my last year was. I can't remember. Yeah, but I got a chance to meet him. He actually came over and wanted to say hello. which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, he's just I think he's, you know, if he was still hitting leadoff, he'd be this generation's kind of Ricky Henderson. You know, he's got that kind of ability to be able to steal that many bases and hit from power out of the leadoff hole, be that dynamic leadoff hitter that Ricky was. But I see that they've moved him down to the 2 spot.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Not running as much. And I don't know if that's Mike Scioscia wanting to make sure he stays in the lineup every day, or for he might get injured, but he's a horse.
Yeah, he's a little. I like to have him at running back on my fantasy team. You know, later on this fall. But he's a big kid. He's put together. He seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders. I think definitely, if he's not already, will be one of the faces of baseball for quite some time.
That missed inside, ball 4, and Trout will get a chance to hit with 2 outs. You're an old school guy, I know, but you've always been able to embrace new things in baseball. Joe and I touched on this earlier in the 4th ball game. Mike Trout among the newfangled stats folks. Felt should have been the MVP in the American League the last 2 years. Miguel Cabrera won the MVP the last couple of years, including a Triple Crown. Which side of that fence do you stand on, or do you straddle both arguments?
It depends on how you look at it. I think certainly there's an argument to go both ways. I have a hard time with a guy winning the Triple Crown and his team making the playoffs and, you know, being relevant in the races and him not getting the MVP.
I'm with you.
Last year, you know, while I don't think his numbers were as good as, you know, his numbers, meaning Trout being as good as they were the year before, still very good. Yeah, you could possibly make an argument for it last year, but the year before, Triple Crown hadn't been done in what, 50, 60 years?
Long time.
That's something very special. And, you know, I thought Miggy was deserving.
No balls and a strike for Mike Trout, and he rips one straight back.
Well, you won a batting title. Imagine coupling that with home runs and RBIs on top of that. That's how difficult it is.
It really is, and I was never that kind of all-around hitter where I could go out and hit 45, 50 home runs and still lead the league in RBIs and batting average. That's something that's, golly, that's generation, once in a generation that you might see that. So Miggy, I think, certainly has solidified himself as one of the best all-around hitters. Certainly one of the best right-handed hitters this game has ever seen. Before he's done, there's going to be some long-time records go down.
Well, that's what I asked Joe an inning ago when the Angels came up for the first time. I'd love to put you on the spot too. First, the 1-2 pitch. Instead of peg to first. You've got Miguel Cabrera. You have Manny Ramirez, and you have Albert Pujols. Who's at the top of that list among right-handed hitters in Major League Baseball?
It's hard for me to say anything about number 5 down there. I think for me he's the best right-handed hitter I've ever seen. He's his balance at the plate is second to none. I think that's probably why he's kind of scuffling a little bit the last year or two. His legs and his feet have given him a lot of trouble, and maybe his base is sort of broken down a little bit. But I'll tell you what, about 6 or 8 years ago, I've never seen any right-handed hitter as dominant as he was. Didn't matter who was out there. He was better than them, and on a nightly basis he showed it.
And it's not like he's having a bad year, but he set the bar so impossibly high for so long that anything he does less than that's considered a bad year.
Yeah, for me to look up there and see 248 next to Albert, we're 65, 70 games into the season. It's shocking for me. But I know that he's struggled with his lower half for the last, probably couple years. Yeah.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and you know what that's like.
Got away with that one.
Oh yeah. You take away your legs and your foundation up at the plate. You got some problems. You gotta have that solid base under you. Yeah, that's pretty good. 319, 507, 1500. Yeah, I'd say he's got a pretty bright future.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And Gaddis kept that in front. It's now 2-2.
Mike Trout, we were talking about him. Chip brought this up a minute ago. His minor league average is 342. And we talk about a lot of guys getting rushed these days that don't have numbers that you say, oh, well, he should have been here sooner or anything. This guy had 342 in the minors. They were probably sitting on their hands not to call him and call him up sooner.
And how rare.
That one gets through. Gaddis streaking toward the plate and scoring will be Hank Conger, the catcher. So a couple got through the wickets of Evan Gaddis here in the 3rd inning. The Angels are on the board. Calhoun's at second. It's now a 4-1 game.
Evan did all he could shifting over in front of it. He just was late getting the glove down. 2 wild pitches in the inning that got the run in. Takes away the force too.
And now a pitch of decision for Mike Trout. 58 tosses for Harang. He's got 1 out here in the 3rd. And Aaron walked him, and now Pujols hits with 2 on, 1 in, and 1 out. As Joe mentioned, Harang has had no luck at all against the Angels. He's 0-5 lifetime, and he has pitched very carefully with this power-packed trio of Trout, Pujols, and Hamilton.
This is one area, Chip, where Albert's really scuffled this year, and that's hitting with runners in scoring position. I mean, for a guy like Chipper was saying has been such a great hitter, this has got to be eating at him because his numbers are way down.
Ball 1 outside.
This is not what you would expect from Albert Pujols.
Well, I heard you use the term on the road trip about, last homestand about a bad walk. And leading off the last inning was, a bad walk. That right there to Trout was not necessarily a bad walk, because if there is one Achilles heel to Albert, is that he is prone to ground into a double play. So he's got a bunch of double plays this year, and if you get the ball down and get him on the ground, it's a gimme. So.
And we're not talking a lot about Achilles heels right now, okay?
Yeah. 1 ball, 1 strike. Albert Pujols, Chipper's right. He's hitting to 9 double plays this year. Not this time. He pops one into shallow center. Upton broke back. Now comes galloping in, and he's going to get there. So Pujols' troubles with runners in scoring position continue. He's the 2nd out, but now Harang has to face down Josh Hamilton.
Watch his back foot right here, how it comes up off the ground. You never would have seen that 5-6 years ago. He would have just basically rocked back and just centered the baseball. His head never moves, and for whatever reason, those feet, the bottom half is getting a lot more movement in it right now.
Who wants this one? La Stella is there, and he'll make the play, and Aaron Harang pitches out of big trouble. A couple of wild pitches spoil the shutout bid, but Harang's lead is now 3 in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Atlanta Braves Baseball is presented by the Georgia Lottery, Toyota, AT&T, mobilizing your world, and Sherwin-Williams.
Atlanta 4, Angels 1. We head to the bottom of the third inning. Freeman, Upton, and Gaddis are coming up against C.J. Wilson. Tuesday, July 15th, baseball's best gather in Minnesota as the captain, Derek Jeter, takes the field in what will be his last All-Star game. And what also promises to be an emotional and unforgettable night. Special coverage starts at 4:30 on Fox Sports 1, followed by the 2014 All-Star game at 7:30 on Fox. You and Derek Jeter will be able to talk about that, huh? Your last season, you make the All-Star team.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt TJ was going to make it. That guy's a perennial All-Star.
Another great catch.
Really good catch.
Had fans from Roswell.
Everybody from Roswell can catch, you know?
Well, this is the check, and you know Glenn Diamond's nowhere near. No balls, 2 strikes. For Freeman, who misses low. But what was it like your last at bat in the All-Star game? That 99-mile-an-hour rocket to right field for a hit.
I was told this story today on MLB Network. I was, you know, I knew I wasn't starting. I was going to get a pinch hit somewhere. So Mark McGwire comes up and says, "Hey, why don't you go get loose?" They had a righty in, and I'm down there getting loose, hitting, you know, just left-handed, and Mark McGwire comes down and goes, "You want to hit against this righty out here, or they got Chris Sale down in the bullpen warming up, and I haven't taken a swing right-handed." And he goes, "You have a preference of who you'd like to hit against?" And you know, I tried to be all have the bravado and everything and say, "Oh, I don't care, you know, whoever's out there I'll face." But all the time I'm thinking, God, I'm getting abused by Chris Sale. You know, so yeah, I told him it didn't matter. But yeah, I mean, it was fun. Chris and I have the same agent, so we know each other pretty well. And while he did give me a fastball, he didn't groove it. I nubbed it through the right side, so I got bragging rights on him.
Freeman down on strikes for the first out of the inning. Justin Upton's the batter. He just missed hitting a home run his first time up. Chase Josh Hamilton to the left field fence. Ball club's kind of treading water, isn't it, Chipper?
Yeah, it's I guess the word of the year is inconsistency. Inconsistency. I mean, he's you know, the offense will get it going for a little bit and then struggle for a while, and it just seems like they can't put all 3 phases of the game together at the same time. If they ever do, you know, I'm sure they'll run off 8 or 10 in a row. But it's kind of frustrating. Kind of frustrating to sit there on the couch and watch from time to time.
1 ball, 1 strike for Upton, who's riding a 7-game hit streak.
By the way, Joe, hitting and pitching is a lot easier sitting on my couch than it is.
No question about it.
Being out there.
No question. And you wonder sometimes, don't you, when you see a pitch taken?
Yeah.
Why was that pitch taken? It's just so much easier sitting up here.
But if I had a nickel for every time I call my dad after a game.
Ground ball to short. Ibar's got it. Gets Upton for the second out.
I called my dad after a game, and he'd say, "Why'd you take that 1-0 fastball right down the, you know, right down the pipe?" And I go, "Looking for a change." Or I was taking a strike. You know, I mean, people don't know what's going on in our minds. You know, how we're trying to set up pitchers and what we're looking for in certain situations. So trust me, there's a method to our madness whenever we take one down the pipe. It's whenever you hear me yell an expletive after the pitch, that's when you know I should.
That never happened.
I should have been swinging, yeah.
How about this guy?
Uh-oh.
Deep center. Warning track. Trout at the wall. Gaddis almost took Wilson out again. He is swinging the bat with damage in his heart. A 3-run homer earlier, a deep fly to center. Congratulations, Emmy Award winner Chipper Jones.
Energy, Georgia Power, The Home Depot, and Blimpie, celebrating 50 years.
Happy Father's Day weekend, everybody. Braves off to a good start, leading the Angels 4-1. Couple of homers, Gaddis and Johnson in the first inning. Aaron Harang back to work now with a 3-run lead. And he's got Kendrick, Ibar, and David Freese coming up. Kendrick walked to start the second and was erased on a double play. And that's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Angels start play tonight 3.5 games behind Oakland in the AL West. Ground ball. Freeman knocked it down. And he will dash to the bag a step ahead of Kendrick for out number 1.
Hot shot and able to control it. Aaron was there in case he needed him. When Aaron gets at 6'7", 260 moving in one direction, it's not like it's just an easy stop. It was kind of a touch and go.
Here's Ibar. He popped out to third in the second inning. Oakland hosts the Yankees tonight. So the Angels look for help from New York. Washington's in St. Louis to play the Cardinals. Washington leads the Braves by a game. And a bouncing ball right side. La Stella has to cover a lot of ground. Throws off stride and got his man on a nice play.
Excellent play.
I'd have to say, Joe, that perhaps Tommy's defensive reputation was undeserved in the minor leagues from what we've seen so far.
Well, I'll say this. He's working hard to erase any thoughts that people had about his fielding reputation, because he's played really well. And I don't know if he called Freddie off of that, because that's a ball that Freddie a lot of times will range over to try to get. That was a good play.
Knew he had to hustle with a fast runner moving down the line. And he got him rather easily. Here's David Freese. Foul to the screen, strike 1.
Speaking of defense, David Freese, despite his offensive problems to start the year, he had only 155 his first 20 games. He hasn't made an error at third base.
No balls, 2 strikes. Right back where it came from and into center field. So David Freese on an 0-2 count keeps the inning alive. And Conger, the catcher, doubled to start the third. He'll bat for a second time here. Swing like that, you know, will make Don Baylor happy. Hope Don's watching the ball game tonight. Former Braves hitting coach, former big league manager, back with the Angels this year. Was injured on opening day and is close to coming back, we hear, with the Halos, and hope that's the case.
You're here.
Conger, a switch hitting catcher. Well, that's a valuable asset. Strike 1.
From the Seattle area, born in Federal Way. It's about halfway between Seattle and the airport.
Good pitch, and him way out in front.
I wanted to see the speed of the pitch because I wondered if that one broke 70, and it did. 72 miles an hour.
Freeze a short lead with an 0-2 pitch coming to Conger. He's running. The pitch high. The throw to second. Right on the money. And in plenty of time. Gaddis guns down Freeze, who tried to steal second. And Harang sends this game to the bottom of the 4th inning. Couple of homers for Atlanta today. The second by Braves third baseman Chris Johnson. The other CJ off to a good start at the plate tonight. And so are the Braves, leading 4-1. South is brought to you by our friends at Blimpie. Joe Simpson, Tom Hart, Chip Caray at Turner Field. Braves and Angels in Game 1 as we kick off Father's Day weekend at Turner Field. It's a 4-1 Atlanta lead. It's not too late to spend your Father's Day weekend with us here at the ballpark. Tickets available for tomorrow night and Sunday night, June 15th. Don't forget to note it's an ESPN telecast. Sunday night baseball, first pitch somewhere in the neighborhood of 8:05 Eastern Time. And kids and dads can run the bases here at Turner Field after the game. Get your tickets at Braves.com today. Big crowd tonight. A big crowd. First and only visit by Mike Trout, Albert Pujols, and the Angels.
Expecting big crowds all weekend. That's great.
Chris Johnson goes to work. 11 hits in his last 30 at bats. This has done good work all year against left-handed pitching. He had a gap job over the fence in left center his first time up. That's an even count.
Good breaking ball. How about these numbers for C.J. Wilson? A lot of times the guy's ERA goes up every 3 innings. This guy, and he gave up 4 in the first, go down.
A classic get him early or you might not pitcher. One of your keys, Wilson thinks he has 8 or 10 pitches. Have you seen evidence of that first 4 innings tonight?
Well, he's just using his arsenal. I mean, he's used all of them. His fastball, the cutter off the fastball. There's a 2-seamer. He looked like he ran away from Chris Johnson. He's got a good changeup. So, yeah, I've seen them all. I haven't seen. He's not making stuff up as he goes along.
I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, the point of that 8 to 10 pitch thing was he can be cruising right along and all of a a sudden wants to change his pitching pattern because he has those pitches, and that's when he gets in trouble.
Yes, and some of them on any given night there might be something that's not working as well as others, and might stray off what's working.
Full count pitch. Back up the middle and through. Chris Johnson has 2 hits.
He's up to 270 with that home run and climbing.
And a good start for the Braves. 4th as Tommy La Stella stands in. He earns our SunTrust Shining Moment honors.
And that's because his offensive work has been really stellar since he came up. I guess we could call him Tommy La Stella, huh? 7 multi-hit games out of the 13 since he got called up, and he already has 1 hit tonight.
That's what they called him in Boston, where he debuted.
Yeah, that's right, they did.
So he can try to pull a ball past PUJOLS on the right side of the diamond for the Angels. And that's in at the knees, a strike. 9 o'clock in Atlanta. It's turned out to be a beautiful night for baseball. Some spotty showers in Metro Atlanta earlier this afternoon. A warm, muggy late spring day. Oh, and 2. He's done that exceptionally well, too, hasn't he?
That's why he's tough to strike out.
His work on the road trip, or Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot. Atlanta 4, Angels 1. The only downer so far, the fate of Jason Hayward, hit by a pitch in the first inning, stayed in the game and scored a run, but came out after the first inning. Jordan Schaefer's taken over in right. Still waiting a word on the fate of Jason Hayward's right hand, as La Stella, a rare strikeout, is the 4th punch out for Wilson tonight and the first out of the inning. Beg your pardon, that's his 5th strikeout. First time he's gotten La Stella. Joe. And here's Simmons. He lined out to right. See why that ERA progression is what it is. After the first inning, Wilson's only had 1 base runner. All the Atlanta runs came after 2 were out in the first inning. Runner goes, bouncing ball. That's going to be knocked out in the infield. Fine play by Ibar. And Johnson has to stop at second. First and second for Atlanta and Aaron Harang.
Good to see Andrelton Simmons hitting the ball where it's pitched, lined one to right, into an out, his first time up, and then a slow breaking ball he pulls to the left side. Eric Ibar is a very underrated shortstop in his own right, playing in Anaheim, but he can pick it at that position. Nice play there. Probably saved the base. Looked like Chris Johnson was thinking about going to third. Aaron was a little late his first time up on some swings, but he had some big cuts.
He shows bunt and it takes way high for ball 1. Wishes he had that one back.
Yeah, he had a good pitch to bunt there. He just didn't get the bat out in front. He does have 3 sacrifices. Needed to get turned with his body a little more and get the bat out there and hold it.
At the knees. 1-2.
PNC Bank on our Fox tracks. The bottom of the zone. Good call by David Rackley. Aaron's knees a little higher than most.
Bunt still on with 2 strikes, and he got it down. Wilson will have only 1 play, and he lobs it to first.
I think he might have had another play at third base. Being left-handed, feeling the ball and already being in a good position, to throw to third base. I think he had time to get the force play at third and chose not to. Aaron got it down and rather hard. Right here. Oh, he had lots of time to go to third base.
So Harang helps himself. Runners second and third after the sacrifice, and now a lefty-lefty matchup with Jordan Schaefer. Schaefer took a called third strike in his lone at bat. That was in the second. Great news from the training room. Jason Hayward diagnosed with a right hand contusion. X-rays negative. He's day to day. I think we're all fearful of a fracture.
He got hit bad spot on the bottom hand. A tender spot that quite often results in a broken bone.
1 ball, no strikes. Ground ball towards second. Kendrick has it, and the flip to first is in time, and that'll retire the side. Braves get 2 hits, nothing else. We head to the 5th. Outdoors, the right stuff, the low price every day. 4-1 Atlanta as we head to the 5th inning. It's time for you fans to tweet your photo using hashtag SouthFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. That's brought to you by AT&T. Hank Conger leads it off. He was in the batter's box when Freese was thrown out trying to steal back in the 4th inning. And ball high. In the air left side, long run Simmons. Johnson joins him out there, but Andrelton will track it down. And the Angels catcher Conger is out, number 1.
C.J. Wilson is a guy now at the plate who had Tommy John surgery, but also, as it turned out, had his surgery in the minor leagues in 04 before he got to the big leagues with Texas. Braves have seen him before, but always out of the bullpen.
And as you mentioned, since he became a starter, this guy's been one of the best starters in the American League. 13 or more wins in 4 consecutive seasons. Each of those years he's pitched more than 200 innings. And after a bad first, he's been as good as a 17-win pitcher would and should be. But Harang is matched in pitch for pitch tonight and leads 4-1. And Wilson is down swinging. There's out number 2. Harang with 2 strikeouts. He's gotten the pitcher twice.
This guy reminds me of Brooks Conrad.
Where's old Brooks playing? Is he
he's at El Paso.
He's with the Chihuahuas?
Yeah, playing with Jeff Francoeur and Blaine Boyer. Saw some numbers the other day. Jeff's really gotten hot. He's also pitched in 6 games.
Remember Jason Lane?
Yes.
He's made the conversion from, I believe, the outfield to a left-handed relief pitcher. He actually got back to the big leagues and pitched a game or 2 with San Diego. He's since been sent back down. He's got a big advantage. He's left-handed, and as we know, they can pitch forever.
Of course.
Bouncing ball and through for Cole Calhoun. He's 2 for 2 tonight. With a walk, he's been on base all 3 times up tonight. And here's Trout.
Trout's average is at 292. He's walked once tonight. He's hit in 18 of his last 19 games, though, to get it up into the 290s. He'd been scuffling a little bit average wise.
He jumps the pitch and drives it to deep right. That's playable for Schaefer at the edge of the warning track. And Trout is out again. Nothing happening for the Angels in the 5th inning. B.J. Upton, Freddie Freeman, and Justin Upton. That's our Delta Airlines on deck trio. 4-1 Atlanta. Braves, and of course our buddy Matt Coney. You know he's excited about Father's Day weekend. His daughter Melissa, a huge Braves fan. They're probably sitting on the couch telling stories about Buzz Capra, who was her favorite player back in the day.
Very nice.
So Mac and Melissa, we hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week when we hit the road again and head off to Washington. Hall of Famer Greg Maddux bobblehead night's coming up on Tuesday night. That's also presented by Delta Airlines. The first 20,000 fans take home this collector's item. Get your tickets today at Braves.com or by phone at 800-745-3000. And we have been given a sneak peek at the bobbleheads. As B.J. Upton goes to work and bounces one to David Freese. One hop, one throw, and one out. There's the bobblehead.
Not only is it a good-looking bobblehead, but it's got the Hall of Fame logo in front, so that's different.
That one really looks like Greg too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Real close to having a circle change-up grip on the baseball too. That's a good one.
Freddie Freeman takes a ball inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. We've had the Andrelton Simmons bobblehead. We've got the Greg Maddux bobblehead. Hall of Fame inductions coming up soon. This will indeed be a star-spangled Braves celebration of baseball at the National Baseball Hall of Fame Museum in Cooperstown.
Whole month of July.
Yep.
Started off on July 4th. Holiday game and fireworks. Oh yes, the best fireworks display in the Southeast. Hall of Fame later in the month.
And unlike Washington, our fireworks go zoom bang, unlike bang zoom in D.C. It's a big difference.
There is a difference.
3-1, fouled out of play, full count.
I mean, if they've already gone bang, they don't have much chance to go zoom.
Okay, exactly. Got to talk to our pal Charlie Slows about that. See him straighten that out. 3-2 for Freeman. 4-1 Braves on 5 hits. 2 homers back to back in the first. And that one too far inside, and Freeman will take a walk. He heads to first with 1 out. Wilson's walked him twice tonight.
Mike Scioscia, not only the longest tenured manager in baseball, but he's kind of been the Bobby Cox of the American League, with so many of his coaches going on to manage their different places. Joe Madden in Tampa, Ron Renicky in Milwaukee that come to mind immediately.
Justin Batts with a man aboard, 1 out.
Bud Black, San Diego.
He's one of those Braves that wallops left-handed pitching.
And hitting .500 at home against lefties.
This one popped up. Pujols will give chase, and he has no play. It's an inning count. Mike Scioscia's in his 15th season as the Angels manager. In those 15 years, he's only had 4 losing seasons.
It's very Bobby Cox-like too, right?
And for the first time in his tenure, the Angels did not reach the playoffs for a 4th straight season last year. That is not like a Mike Scioscia club. There are some who've said, well, maybe we need a fresh voice in Anaheim with the Angels. I don't know how you can argue with
the body of work of a guy as talented as Mike Scioscia and what he's done with that Angels club. Class, distinction, winning, tradition, consistency.
And he signed through 2018.
Two balls, one strike. We haven't seen Oakland yet this year. Everybody's raving about the job that the Oakland Athletics are doing again. Heard a great description of their team, the land of misfit toys.
Yeah.
A lot of parts that were discards from other organizations that seem to fit together perfectly for the Athletics. They have a great race on their hands with the Angels out west. 3.5 games separate first and second in that division. Wilson laboring a bit. A 1-out walk to Freeman. Now a 3-1 count to Upton. He was swinging for the fences. Didn't get it. Full count.
Good changeup on a 3-1 count. Circle change type. It was up and hittable, but the change of speeds made the difference.
Gaddis is on deck, and he's hit the ball a ton twice. Payoff. Strike three, and Upton knew it. Wilson caught the inside corner. That's the sack it out. And here's Evan.
PNC Fox tracks on this one. Inside corner. Well, kinda. No argument from Justin. He throws a pretty good pitch too. That one had a little backup on it.
A 3-run homer for Gaddis on a 3-0 pitch in the first inning. He drove Trout to the warning track back in third. Let's see what Wilson has in mind in his third sequence.
Back to a breaking ball there. Our Yellowwood bringing the lumber. No doubter. First inning. Low line drive rocket. 3-run homer.
6 homers in the last 13 games for Gaddis. And he was thinking about another one there and didn't get it. 0-2.
Meanwhile, we've been talking about all that damage he's doing in this streak. His average is up to 282 as well, if you hadn't noticed. I know I hadn't.
I would again love to see him in the All-Star festivities. I'd love to see him in the Home Run Derby. I would love to see Evan Gaddis's story spread again on a nationwide basis. It's simply remarkable what this man has accomplished and where he's come from. Evan might have an Emmy in his future too with his driven story here on Fox. He's struck out to end the 5th, and we go to the 6th inning. 4-1 Atlanta leads the Angels in game 1.
Brought to you by our friends at Blimpie. Good start to the weekend for the Braves. They enjoy a 4-1 advantage. Time for our trivia question this evening. Our AT&T Uverse trivia question features Angels slugger Albert Pujols. He's hitting .347 lifetime against the Braves. That's second best among active players with a minimum of 60 games. Who's first?
Seems like we had this not too long ago. I mean, something like a list of guys. It was just a graphic.
Pujols, a one-hopper to Simmons. And Albert is a one-pitch out in the 6th. The first name that came to mind for me was Braves killer Ramos Ramirez.
Yes, that's an excellent choice. I don't think this ball was going to get through the 5-hole on Andrelton. Legs together, feet together. He does it a lot of different ways. It always works.
Action in the Braves bullpen as Josh Hamilton lines one out of play foul.
I started to say earlier that, you know, he carried more weight in Texas because everybody there feels like you need to, because you're going to lose weight in the heat. And when he came to Anaheim, he had dropped a lot of weight, thinking, well, it's going to be cooler, not as humid, all those things. And some are blaming his lack of results on that. And during this injury, his thumb injury, he's put some of that weight back on, some of his bulk back on, and so far so good. He's off to a good start after the DL.
He must have been broadcasting.
Yeah, that's an easy. We could have helped him. Yeah. Good point.
Like Evan Gattis, Josh Hamilton, an amazing and inspiring story. To overcome addiction, it's a constant battle for him. Yeah, he stumbled a time or two since, but still a remarkably gifted and talented player. As that one bounces off the tarp foul for a 2-2 count.
He can really hit.
Yeah.
He's just got such a great swing and is strong, good hands. And you just don't dare go down and in that area of the strike zone unless you bury it like that.
His baseball renaissance really began in Cincinnati with the Reds. It could have begun somewhere else. You know who had Josh Hamilton's rights before he went to the Reds?
I do not.
The Cubs. The Cubs got him on a Rule 5 claim and then flipped him to the Reds for double the Rule 5 claim price.
Huh.
And then Hamilton took off with the Reds, went to Texas, and now is with the Angels. Payoff pitch is shot. Oh, what a play, Simmons. He'll scoop. He'll fire. He'll get his man. Wow.
Look at the fans on their feet. A lot of times it takes a homer to get fans to their feet, but not the way Andrelton Simmons plays. Josh Hamilton gets down the line real well. Fully extended. And then the rocket arm.
That is two remarkable plays made by Simmons tonight. Remember the force play in the first inning with that spinning 360 move at the second base bag. And then that diving stop to take away a hit by Hamilton. Platinum Glove winner. Andrelton Simmons, and low and outside for Kendrick. 2 balls and a strike.
I'm not going to swear to it, but I think at least one of those 2 errors is a throwing error too. It's not glove work.
So the fans in Southern California who follow the Angels getting a chance tonight to see the best shortstop in the National League, if not the game, play against the Angels tonight. Maybe the best thing about interleague play. Pop up right side, headed for the big crowd, and no play, full count.
Well, and like Trout,
absolutely.
Albert Pujols' return to Turner Field. Those are a couple of the good sides of interleague play.
Atlanta looking for its first win against the American League. They lead 4-1. And a payoff pitch coming for Howie Kendrick. That's line foul. And a good stop by ball boy.
There is some leather being fashioned here tonight. In the stands, between the lines, outside the lines.
Deflected to Simmons. A 1-6-3 end to the inning. The Braves are playing long ball, and they're also flashing the leather. Some leathered larceny by Simmons in the first, and again here in the 6th inning to rob Josh Hamilton, and he keeps Aaron Harang in the lead 4-1. Six innings with a lead against a club that's really pounded him in his major league career. It's 4-1 Braves as we head to the home half of the 6th. Fans vote up to 25 times for your favorite Braves and send them to the 2014 All-Star Game, and you'll receive a special offer for $10 off club reserve tickets when the Braves take on the Marlins July 21st through the 24th. For more information, log on to braves.com/vote. Chris Johnson with a good night. He's 2 for 2 with a homer. To short. Ibar throws on the run, and Pujols with a nifty scoop at first. Good play. 1 out.
Nice charge and throw by the Angels shortstop. Having to throw across his body. Play.
That sign for Jim Fregosi, longtime assistant to general manager Frank Wren, and a friend to all of us with the Braves. Jim also a terrific player with the Angels in their early days. Can't help but think of the Angels and Jim Fregosi tonight.
Good point. That's great thought.
Jim, one of the 11 members of the Angels Hall of Fame, of course anchored by the man that founded the franchise, the singing cowboy, Gene Autry.
Jim Fergosi could hold court telling Gene Autry stories too. It was wonderful to listen.
Strike to Tommy La Stella. You younger fans don't know the history of Gene Autry. First appeared in movies in 1934. Starred in 93 films. Was voted the 4th biggest box office star behind Mickey Rooney, Clark Gable, and Spencer Tracy. I didn't know that.
Well, he went to the winter meetings. He had a slew of radio stations, including a big one in LA. I don't know which one. Might have been KTLA. But he went to the winter meetings when it was thought that baseball might expand. And he was hoping to go and get the radio rights to a team. And wound up with a team.
How about that? That worked out great, didn't it?
They didn't even have a stadium.
Right? They played. Well, that's one of the great trivia questions. When Roger Maris hit 61 homers in 1961. As La Stella's down on strikes, how many home runs did Roger Maris hit at Wrigley Field? And fans will think, well, none, because Wrigley Field was the home of the Cubs and they didn't have interleague play. Wrong. The Angels' first season was played at Wrigley Field in Los Angeles, which was the home of the Pacific Coast League team at the time. They then moved to Chavez Ravine.
Played some games at Dodger Stadium.
And then the Big A in Anaheim.
Wrigley Field, for you old timers, those of you that remember Home Run Derby.
Yeah.
That show was taped at Old Wrigley Field in LA. But Jim Fergosi, back to him. I mean, he was all-star, all-world for them in their early days.
We all really miss him. We miss seeing him at the ballpark, especially around the trade deadline. You know, Jim was around. He'd tell you who's going where, who wasn't going where for the other clubs, and what he thought was going to happen. Just a great baseball man and a great man, period. Simmons bounced one off his foot. And that's in the front row seats.
Maybe it missed his foot. I hope so.
No hobbling.
No.
Which is a good sign. One more note on Gene Autry. Music Man. Sold more than 100 million records. Wrote Here Comes Santa, or sang Here Comes Santa Claus, Peter Cottontail, and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Those were his big hits. And a shot up the middle. Nice play. Kendrick, long throw, and Simmons legged it out. He's got a 2-hit game. Great diving strop by Howie Kendrick, but he couldn't scramble to his feet in time. And that will bring up Dan Uggla to pinch hit.
Really a good play here by Kendrick. Couldn't quite get to his feet in time to get the out. This is a good hand for Dan Uggla coming up. Nice warm welcome home.
Let's see what Dan can do after harangues 6 innings of 4-hit ball. Wilson delivers a strike.
He left out one great Gene Autry song. It's probably my favorite.
Inagata Devita.
That was my second favorite. Back in the South.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the singing cowboy. I didn't even mention a cowboy song. What am I thinking? That's right.
And I got Spurs.
That jingle, jangle, jingle.
There you go.
Stop there. High pop. Freeze and Ibar converge. And it's the shortstop who makes the play. And we'll jingle, jangle, jingle on to inning number 7. Aaron Harang, job nicely done. He's in line for his first win ever against the Angels. It's a 4-1 score. A 4-1 Braves. Here are your probable starters for Game 2. It's baseball night for Big Fox, and Garrett Richards and Gavin Floyd will hook up. Look at what Richards has done for the Halos.
Not a bad number, 6-2, excellent ERA. And Gavin Floyd, yeah, just coming off that great start in Colorado. It's going to, I think, propel him to a real good streak.
A newbie.
Well, I want to know where's Dad. Father's Day weekend. Where's my dad?
When the baby's crying, Dad's probably happy he's not around. Dad ain't no dummy. As David Hale goes to work for Aaron Harang in the 7th. He's got Eric Ibar to greet him first. It's got to be tough to be a starting pitcher and be asked to stay sharp in the bullpen. Keep your pitches on time. Keep your patience, not knowing when you're going to get into a game when you're used to a routine. Hale's been terrific in relief, and his good work has continued tonight. One man down in the top of the 7th inning.
Time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Facts. Brought to you, of course, by Coors Light. Braves pitching this season, home and the road. Nice difference. A whole run better at home. Better opponent's batting average. And more strikeouts. There are a lot of reasons to want to come home. That's one of them.
Yeah. And while all of us are, I think, a little tired of living out of our suitcase for the month of June and still a lot of travel left, the Braves can take advantage of the only 9 games they have at home this month. It should really set them up nicely for July, August, and September, when the home schedule, you figure, will be a little more luxurious. That caught a corner, and Freeze was surprised. It's 1-2. Cardinals lead Washington 1-0 in the 6th. Game at Busch Stadium. The Nationals just wrapped up a great series with the Giants. They took 3 out of 4 against San Francisco. Our old pal Tim Hudson helped out the Braves by beating them yesterday. Freeze didn't get it. A 92-mile-an-hour fastball in on his hands, and that's the second out.
And again, David Freese having trouble catching up to a fastball. One that's belt high. Late on it.
Hank Conger a 1-for-2 night. He doubled in the third, took third on a wild pitch and scored on another. Now Simmons with a backhanded stab, fires to first, and David Hale a 1-2-3 7th inning. We go to the stretch. The top of the Braves orders coming up, looking to extend a 3-run lead. SCHAFER, Upton, and first baseman Freddie Freeman due for the Bravos.
By authority of the Atlanta Braves and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Atlanta Braves.
Time for tonight's Blimpie game summary. Fireworks after the game, Joe, but boy, plenty of fireworks in the Atlanta first off C.J. Wilson.
It was great to see. I mean, the Braves look like with 2 outs and 2 on, they may not be able to push much across. And then on a 3-0 count, Evan Gattis launched a 3-run homer and got the Braves going. And then right after that, back-to-back, Chris Johnson had a great at-bat, and he launched one into the seats as well. And they made that stand up. They lead 4-1.
Everybody's having a good time at Turner Field tonight. Another beautiful family, another beautiful night where the Braves lead 4-1. C.J. Wilson's night is over. After great work in his career against the National League, he's down 3 runs. Mike Morin comes on for the Angels. This is his 19th game, and look at what he's done in relief.
I'd say that's a pretty good work in his first 18 games. 140 ERA, fastball 88 to 94, and a slider and a changeup. Changeup is his out pitch. I don't know if we've said anything about it yet, Chip, but we got to mention too that Ken Bedrosian is with the club, signed by the Angels a couple of years ago as a high draft pick out of East Coweta High School, and now with the big league club, and has been in 3 games. Hopefully he'll get to pitch in this series in front of the hometown folks.
And how cool is it for him? He's in Atlanta with the Angels during Father's Day.
There you go. That's great.
So Morin versus Jordan Schaefer. If you're just joining us tonight, Jordan did not start the game for the Braves. Jason Hayward did. He was hit on the right hand by a C.J. Wilson pitch. Jason stayed in the game and later scored, but came out after the first inning for Jordan Schaefer, who cracks one into right field for a leadoff single. Schaefer was examined in the Braves locker room, and around the 5th inning or so we were told that the x-rays were negative. He has a hand contusion and is day to day.
Right off the back of the hand near the knuckles, the bottom hand pinched against the bat.
That's really a lucky play for Hayward, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very fortunate if that's all it is a bruise.
So Mike Morin, who's never given up a run on the road in the big leagues, in immediate trouble here in the 7th. Let's see if Schaefer thinks about running with the Braves up 3. He's got a big lead. And he's chased back.
Morin is from the Kansas City area, but he went to school at North Carolina. Got under Pujols and hit Jordan on the back of the wrist.
We've had enough guys hit on the right hand in this game. With a good lead. He's going. And the pitch low. Conger's throw to second is going to be late. Schaefer's in safer.
Big crossover step. Took a peek. Good throw, but it didn't beat him. Jordan just got in there. Bang, bang play. Good steal.
New set of signs for the Angels pitcher. Big run out there at second with nobody out. Upton at the very least will try to get Schaefer to third base here. Snap throw back to second, and Schaefer's in safely again.
Good sign. A lot of work went into that.
1 ball, 1 strike. And taken high. The Angels bullpen has had some issues this year. They're 9-7. Their relief corps has an ERA over 4. What's most noticeable about their work in relief is 22 homers in 188 innings. Their starting staff has given up 35 homers in more than twice as many innings. The long ball's been a problem for them at times. As Upton now faces a 2-2 count. %41% of their inherited runners have scored as well.
That's a big number.
Now 36 of 88 inherited and runners have come home to bite the Angels late. Just missed the inside corner. Full count.
There's a pitch that didn't reach 70 miles an hour. 69 on that pitch from Morin. Just a straight change too.
Breaking ball got Upton. So BJ can't advance Schaefer. He strikes out for the second time and is 0 for 4. That'll bring up Freeman. Two walks and a strikeout for Freeman. That's Mike Butcher.
Nobody in their bullpen. So this is a discussion about first base being open. And who do you want to pitch to? Or more accurately, knowing Mike Scioscia, here's who you're going to pitch to.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's a better way of putting it. Mike Butcher, 8th year as the Angels pitching coach. He replaced Bud Black, who became the Padres manager. I believe it was the Padres. Last year, his staff set a franchise record, striking out 1,200 batters. This kid's got a power arm too. He drops in a breaking ball. Strike one. Approaching 10 o'clock in Atlanta. We're in the home 7th. 4-1 Braves lead. Fly ball right. That'll be caught. And Schaefer back to the second base bag is going to tag. He's going to try for third, and he's going to slide in safely.
Pretty good arm there from Calhoun. A very accurate throw from him in right field. But for Jordan Schaefer, he was off the bag about 5 or 6 strides just in case this ball kind of had some top spin to drop in for a base hit. So he had to hustle back and tag and then change directions, but still made it. What a great camera.
Isn't that awesome?
Chip, that's what we refer to as the Phantom Cam. You're taking notes.
Justin Upton hits and pokes one foul back the screen.
We got the Phantom Cam, we got the Exmo, we got the Text Cam.
That's a little too much information for me, pal.
Not according to Text.
Good point. Upton just missed a homer in his first at bat. And squibs one toward first. How in the world did he hit that ball? Right off the end of the bat, it appeared. And Pujols takes care of that and ends the Braves' 7th inning threat. 9-1-2 up for the Angels. We head to the 8th. It's the 8th inning. Braves by 3 over the Angels on a perfect Friday night in Atlanta. And tomorrow it's a great day for baseball action, starting with the Twins facing Miguel Cabrera and the Tigers over on Fox Sports 1. Then it's baseball night in America on Fox. The Braves will host the Angels. Our MLB doubleheader starts tomorrow at 4 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and continues at 7 Eastern here on Fox. Say hello to Shea Simmons. He'll come on and pitch the 8th for the Braves. He'll have the 9, 1, and 2 hitters coming up for Los Angeles. And Shea has been very impressive. He's been thrown, Joe, right into the 7th or 8th inning fires for the Braves. And look, he's given up nothing.
Yeah, I'd say he's off to a pretty good start himself. He's going to get a chance to face a grizzled veteran here to start this inning, too.
That is Raul Ibanez. 41 years old. And a guy who had 29 home runs last year at the age of 40. And he hits the first pitch to left for out number 1. Phillies thought Ibanez was done. Went to the Yankees, hit 19 homers. Last year he went to Seattle, hit 29 homers at Safeco Field. That's almost impossible. And of course, Ibanez began his career with the Mariners. Now will try to keep Seattle out of the playoffs as a member of the Angels.
He's had a great career, and the best part of it's probably been in the last 5.
8 straight Angels have been retired as Cole Calhoun hits. 2 hits and a walk for the Angels right fielder.
I think we could just call him Brooks Calhoun.
I like it. Popped up and out of play. Four runs, 7 hits for the Braves, who've left 6. A run, 4 hits for the Angels. They've stranded 4. Aaron Harang has outdueled C.J. Wilson tonight. Harang went 6 innings of 1-run ball. David Hale, a perfect 7th inning in relief. Shea Simmons has gotten his first out and has a 2-strike count for Cole Calhoun. The ball broke about a foot, but it missed inside. 1-2. That's headed for right center field, but Upton's going to get there, and he drops it. Hit him right in the chest.
He actually kind of overran this ball, Chip. I mean, he got there so quickly and then was forced to try to catch it in the breadbasket and didn't. I didn't think he was going to get there to begin with, and then not only did he get there, closed in a hurry, but got too close to it.
So the 4th error on Upton this year has Calhoun at first and Trout coming up. Danger of that play now is if anybody else gets on with Pujols and Hamilton lurking, it's only a 3-run game. We'll see how Simmons does with a little adversity behind him with 1 out.
One thing Shea has done since he came up in his 5 innings of work, and including this inning, is that he's pitched to contact. He's a hard thrower and a Guy who can rack up a lot of strikeouts, but he's only walked one batter.
Here comes the 2-1 pitch. And outside. Don't want to walk Trout. You've got Pujols next, and he could represent the tying run. Little pop behind first. That's going to get down and be real trouble. Trout around first on his way to second. Boy, can he really fly for a big man or what? He hit that ball about 130 feet and he ends up at second base. And the Angels have runners at second and third with one out, and Pujols coming up.
One of the descriptions of Mike Trout is that not only is he a fast runner, he's an excellent base runner. Cuts the corners well, knows how to run the bases, and easy on that one as he dumped it into shallow right. Good pitch by Simmons, not a good result.
Well, let's hope the point you made about Pujols holds up here in the 8th inning. He has struggled mightily with runners in scoring position all year. And he's late on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
He just joined us, a 139 average coming into play tonight. And he popped up earlier tonight with runners at first and second.
Gaddis held it there, but it missed. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Luis Avilan was up in the Atlanta bullpen, but not now.
One ball, 1 strike. A man that has bad feet, that's not going to help.
No.
$39,699 want to see Simmons retire Albert Pujols.
Tough one to hang on to. Albert checks with Evan Gaddis to make sure he's okay.
How cool was that?
Yeah. Hit the glove and then the mask, direct shot. Good fastball too.
I don't know how those guys do it behind the plate.
Yeah, just think about it. 95. I'm not even sure now, looking at it from that angle, if it was deflected at all.
Another 1-2 pitch. And Pujols laid off. It's
good pitch. Good pitch. I'd see him double up on it.
First time tonight we've seen Gaddis go to the mound. This is not a bad spot to do it. With Pujols in the box. Remember, Albert was the subject of our trivia question tonight. He's hitting .347 lifetime against the Braves, second best among active players with a minimum of 60 games. Who's first?
Well, you said Aramis Ramirez.
That's my guess.
Great call. I'll say Matt Holliday.
Matt Holliday or Ramirez? It is Ramirez.
Way to go. You are on fire.
Let's hope Simmons is, as he's got another 2-2 count. And Pujols spoiled that one.
It was another slider, and he barely got a piece of it. But this tells you a lot about where Albert Pujols is offensively now compared to just a few years ago. There is no way he would have hit in this situation just a couple of years ago with first base open.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Shot toward right field. It's a hit. Calhoun scores. Trout around third. The Braves will concede the run, keep the double play in order. And Albert Pujols comes through with a big 1-out hit to make it a 4-3 game.
Looked like a fastball he took the other way. And they'll send in Colin Cowgill to run for it. No, it was up. That helped him fight it off a little bit the other way. And got it through the hole.
So the B.J. Upton error has helped open the door for a big inning. What should have been a second out instead leads to the second Angels run. Trout also scores after blooping a double down the right field line. The Pujols single makes it 4-3, and the Angels aren't done in the top of the 8th inning. More action begins in the Braves bullpen now as Simmons has to face off with Josh Hamilton.
Braves still have the lead. First runs allowed by Shea Simmons, unearned and earned. But that bridge from the starters to the closer rears its ugly head again.
Yeah, this is what, 16-17 games now where the Braves bullpen's had some trouble. Walden was part of that reason because he wasn't here. He was hurt. Back from the hamstring problem. He has not been sharp in his first 2 outings over in Colorado. 4-3 Atlanta. 1 on, 1 out. They may not give Hamilton anything good to hit here. He grounded out last time. He has yet to hit into a double play, although this is only Hamilton's 18th game.
Evan Gattis hit a 3-0 pitch into the seats for a 3-run homer in the first inning. Hamilton may get a green light here too.
Center cut with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Crowd was roaring a moment ago. They're quiet with a 3-1 pitch that missed high. Ball 4. Braves pitch around Hamilton, and now Howie Kendrick is the hitter. Tying run in scoring position for the Angels with 1 out. 4 straight hitters have reached after the flyout began the inning. Kendrick is 0 for 2. He walked back in the second. And a high strike. Kendrick, a .243 hitter with runners in scoring position this year.
Chase Simmons not exactly a ground ball pitcher. Power pitcher. Strikeout guy. But if you're looking for a double play like a sinker of some kind, he's not that type guy.
Told you Pujols leads their club with 9 double plays. Kendrick is second with 7. Braves need an out. 0-2. Struck him out. That pitch had a little angry to it, didn't it? 2 out.
Good four-seamer out on the outside corner and right by him.
Now Ibar bats. He's hit the ball on the ground twice and has popped out once. And took a breaking ball too tight. 1-0. A 4-1 game, now a 4-3 affair in the 8th. Bouncing ball to first. Big hop. Freeman stayed with it. Wins the race to the bag and then retires the side. 2 runs, 2 hits, a walk, and an E8. The Angels pull to within a run. It's 4-3 Atlanta. Bottom of the 8th. One-run game now in Atlanta. Braves look for a little insurance with Gaddis, Johnson, and La Stella coming up. As we promised you earlier in our game, we have our AT&T fan photo. Tweet your photo to #SouthFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. That's brought to you by AT&T.
How about that? The Southwick family from Jen Hildreth.
Couple of changes for the Halos. Raul Ibanez checks in. He'll play first base. Ibanez, such a gentleman, has a great appreciation for the history of the game with a handshake for Terry Pendleton. Now Kevin Jepson's on for his 29th appearance.
Speaking of 29 strikeouts in 21 2/3 innings. A 173 average against him. He can bring it. 92 to 96 on his fastball with a good changeup and a curveball.
He's the third pitcher to toil for the Angels tonight. And Gaddis tomahawks the first pitch at 95 miles an hour into left field.
You know, we can talk about his brute strength and size and all those things, but the fact is this guy's got great hands in his swing. And you have to get up on top and level off on high fastballs, which he can do probably better than anyone on the team.
So Gaddis, 2 more hits tonight. That's 20 hits in his last 51 at bats, including 6 homers. Now Chris Johnson's the hitter. He's 2 for 3. Jepson, a 2nd-round pick in 2002. Missed outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, I know it was only 1 walk the other day for Chris. Was that yesterday? Yeah. But that also, I mean, just 1 walk is a sign that he's seeing the ball a little better. And as he keeps saying, I'm going good when I'm hitting the ball over the first base dugout, so he's letting it travel a little more. Well, had the graphics, that got Mike Scioscia maybe. Oh my God, out of the way and let it hit somebody else or not.
Come on, that guy was one of the best ever blocking the plate. He's going to bail on this one.
I think your answer is yes.
Oh, look out, Mike Butcher.
Oh, man.
Whap. Johnson took a call, 3rd strike. Your point about his walk, well taken. It was Chris's first walk since May 14th. And we've talked a lot. Sometimes how you take is a better indicator of how you're seeing the ball than how you swing. Took a call, 3rd strike there on a tough pitch. And it's out number 1. Tommy La Stella 1 for 3. He has struck out twice. That's noteworthy. This one hit high in the air to center. Trout's going to catch that. And that's the 2nd out of the inning. La Stella came into play tonight with only 3 strikeouts in his first 45 at bats. So he's made real good, consistent contact.
Yeah, he ran into a tough lefty that's easy to fan against, and that's C.J. Wilson.
So Simmons will try to keep the inning alive. He's 2 for 3. The Angels will have the bottom part of their batting order up in the 9th. 7, 8, and 9. Freeze, Conger, and Ibanez. Bouncing ball to Freeze at 3rd. He'll go the short way to 2nd, and that sends our game to the fateful 9th. It's a full moon. It's Friday the 13th, and Craig Kimbrell's going to come on and try to nail it down for Atlanta. It's 4-3 Braves after 8. moon in Atlanta. And a full night of entertainment for the Braves fans here at Turner Field. Almost 40,000 packed the ballpark for game one of this series. Atlanta leads 4-3. Aaron Harang looking for his first ever win against the Angels. The Braves looking for their first interleague win of the year. And Craig Kimbrell's going to check in along with Ramiro Pena to try to nail things down in the ninth inning. Craig looking for save number 19. He's the Braves' all-time franchise leader in saves.
Well, he was airing it out that last outing in Colorado. One of his best fastballs we'd seen in weeks. Bottom part of the order, and the first guy, a guy who we've been talking about, has been having trouble catching up to fastballs.
And it's David Freese who struck out. He's hit into a double play. He's singled, and he's been thrown out trying to steal a base. This could be a big night for Atlanta. The Nationals lost to the Cardinals 1-0. Jordan Zimmerman threw a 76-pitch complete game and lost to Washington.
Goodness.
Atlanta wins, they'll pull into a first place tie in the East. The Marlins are down a run to the Pirates. Bases loaded in the ninth. That's 6-5 at Marlins Park. And here Kimbrell's gotten ahead of Freese quickly, 0-2.
Pretty good take there. Laying off that slider.
Ripped back foul. Good cut by Freese. He was right on that 98-mile-an-hour heater.
He and Ibanez, the only two guys that have faced Kimbrell in their lineup. So that'll be a learning experience for whoever follows Freese, if it's Conger and whoever the pinch hitter might be. Actually, that will be Ibanez. He's batting third.
Two balls, two strikes. Straw came out with a 97-mile-an-hour heater.
Four-seamer. Outside corner. Not much chance on that.
And Conger. He's doubled, scored, popped out, and grounded out. Two balls, no strikes.
Your Sunday best right here.
That was his Friday best. It was 99 miles an hour.
That'll do.
Yeah. One-run games this year. The Braves are 13-10 for the season. The Angels are 9-8. Now the 2-1 pitch to Hank Conger. Up the middle, Simmons to his left, glides, grabs, guns, got him, 2 out.
Well, you just got to hit it somebody else. If you expect to get on base and hit it on the ground to the left side.
And I'd be very wary of the first pitch to Raul Ibanez.
Yes. Very good scouting report there.
Crowd on its feet for Kimbrel versus Ibanez in the 9th. Smart pitch.
Yeah. Started him with a breaking ball and threw it for a strike.
Ibanez went around, and now he and the Angels are down to the last strike.
Wasn't a good breaking ball, but he backed it up, backed the first one up with a breaking ball and got him to chase.
Swing and a miss. The Braves have beaten the Angels. Kimbrel saves it for Harang. Atlanta's on the board versus the American League. And they're also back in first place in the East. 4-3 your final score tonight in Atlanta. And we're back to recap it for you from Turner Field after this.